Hi there. If you're here, welcome. If you're watching these later, well, thanks for being here anyway. And I hope you enjoy the content of today's group coaching. If you came from LinkedIn or a link that I sent you, that's great. If you want to know more about the coaching program or anything related to the work I do, please feel free to send me a message and I will be happy to reply it to you. So, hi, Reinaldo, how are you doing? Let me unmute you. Okay, just 1 second. Oh my goodness. Okay. Why? How can I do this? Okay, are you unmuted now? No, I cannot hear you still. Okay, can you say something?
Hello.
Hi, I
Hi.
can hear you now.
Very good.
Great. So can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Awesome, great. So just so you know, this is live on YouTube. So sometimes I will address people on YouTube, and sometimes I will address you guys, but it will be more of a conversation amongst the three of us. So, but just so you know, if I'm speaking to the camera, is because of that.
Okay.
Great. Um, okay, let me just open a link here really quick because I learned from doing this many, many times that I have to open YouTube on my phone in case somebody asks a question because I made this public. So if anybody comes up, I'll answer questions at the end. But let me just open my. Whoops. Okay, I got it. Awesome. Okay, so while we wait for Luis to show up, um, can you can you share with me how was your first week in the program? How was it? Oh, welcome, Luis. Are you there?
Hi.
Hi
Hi.
there.
Hello.
So, Luis, Reinaldo, Luis. I don't know if you guys had met
Yeah, only in the group.
on the group. Okay, gotcha. How are you doing today, Luis? I cannot hear you. Um,
And now,
okay, I
now
can hear
it's
you now.
okay. Hi,
Yes.
Ronaldo.
Hi.
Really, I was in another place before, waiting for you. For
Oh,
you.
gotcha. Yeah, because I sent you the link that was old. I had to make a new one.
Okay, I was there.
Gotcha. Okay, let me. How am I going to do this? That's a good question. Because yeah, the group coaching for today, I was telling Reinaldo, I am broadcasting it live on YouTube in case past students, want to follow it, and if they have any questions. And I also made the link public to a few people. But now I can realize that you guys are not showing up on the broadcast on YouTube. So that maybe that's better if you don't want to be on YouTube. But yeah, it's just me. Like I, there are still a lot of things for me to figure out about doing lives, one thing at a time. But it's okay because we will talk and people can hear your voices. They cannot see you. I'll figure that out for next week if I do the same thing. So anyway,
I guess when we talk,
yes.
uh, the the view change who is talking in the time.
True, but I fixed the image on just me for me to be the
Okay.
bigger one and you guys, but it doesn't show. It just shows my image. So
Okay.
I could do the thing to switch. I just didn't want it to be confusing because sometimes when you are like breathing a little too hard, it shows up on YouTube. Anyway,
Okay.
or it shows up on the screen. Well, that's what I mean. Anyway, let's try this today and I'll figure it out for next week. And talking about technical troubleshoot, remember our Journey app? You know, I hope you guys are doing it every day. Every day is a new opportunity, so don't worry. What I realized is that the sync, when it's syncing to Google Drive, it's syncing to an in-app data. So it's not visible to you or to anybody else. They do that to protect your privacy. Privacy.
Yeah.
Who has privacy nowadays? No, I'm kidding. So there is no way for us to share your videos like automatically. Like I couldn't find an answer to that. So the solution I found is I am going to ask you guys to upload the videos from an entire week at the end of the week. For example, Saturday or Sunday, you zip all the files from that week and I give you access to the Journey app folder on the Speakeasy Google Drive, and you guys can upload that there. I'm gonna give you more instructions on the emails. Maybe on Friday I'll walk you through it, and then we can try it that way. So then you do it just once a week and not every single day.
Okay, so we're not gonna use the Journey app?
No, we are. You are. You're gonna use it every single day.
Okay.
But you're only gonna upload it to the Google Drive once a week.
Okay.
So then I can see all of your videos from the week, but you don't have to do it every day to make your lives easier.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, okay. And Luis, I got your suggestion, and I think it's a great suggestion. I particularly love checklists. So I'm going to create a few checklists. So I got that. If you guys have any kind of suggestions, it's always good to, I can implement it or change it or, checklists is a great thing. I'm going to do checklists for like daily checklists and weekly checklists. So it can help you guys out.
Yeah.
Cool. So I saw that both of you had access to the coaching document. I hope everything was clear. We'll go over it in more details at our coaching call this week. Don't worry. But the most important thing, I just wanted you to see how things are divided, all the resources you have there. You have the native feedback after every lesson, every session. You have your daily log of words just for this week, because on week 3, we're going to do something different. So for this week, you can use that document or just write it down or use some other document. That's okay. It's just a suggestion. And you also have the preparations for your conversation sessions on that document. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Because the conversation sessions will be prepared by you guys. Because we want you to take charge of your learning, and that includes preparing yourself for your conversation session. Because think about it, it's a lot easier if you do it yourself and you're thinking about, okay, what do I want to talk about and how do I want to direct it? And of course, we'll help you each week with that. Then the native speaker coming up with topics right then and there. So I think it makes more sense that you prepare it. Okay?
Okay. It's good.
Shouldn't take too long. And we're going to kind of link it to the activities you're doing during the week. So it'll be good. It'll be interesting.
Okay. Let's do
Okay. Awesome. Do you guys have any questions about what we've done so far, about anything that I've sent you? Do you have any questions?
You said before that we will have easy week. I don't know the Reinaldo opinion, but in mine, it's not an easy week, okay? It
Yeah.
was not.
It was not. What was the hardest part about this week?
I guess every day there's a lot of things to do, and it seems simple, but all of them takes a lot of time to do.
Gotcha.
I think I'll have to, in the next week, I'll have to organize better the time, the tasks, and to apply everything, and then the journey, the diary, yeah, is it the diary, the journey, the journal,
The
journey,
Journey app?
journey, yeah. I didn't. No one.
Me
Didn't do
too.
it?
Me too.
I like how you guys are honest about it.
Okay.
That's good.
Well,
What? Reinaldo, are you from Belo Horizonte?
no, I'm from Conselheiro Lafayette,
Oh, okay. It's near.
near Belo Horizonte.
Okay.
Yeah, I did my tasks, but I studied very hard on Friday, Saturday, and today morning. But it's a little hard. Next week, I will try to schedule more my time because I think it will very hard.
No, I got you guys, and I understand. I think what's hard about this week is exactly what both of you said, time management. It's getting from not studying English, not doing things about English, to getting into that daily routine. And what is easy about the week is just because you have to do tasks that are that you're not studying so much in a way. It was just like more, watching videos, doing tests, which is kind of boring in a way, but it has to be done. So that's done. Yay! Now we can go to the exciting part, which is interacting with the language.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, about goal setting and vocabulary size and how we're going to deal with the vocabulary that you guys are learning. Because you can write down all the vocabulary lists. You can write down many vocabulary lists, but if you don't interact with that vocabulary, then that's going to be for nothing. And we don't want it to be, wasted effort. So I'm going to give you different strategies to deal with the vocabulary list. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. First of all,
Yeah.
thank you for completing the document with your objectives and goals. I could take a look and see where you guys are at. And as far as grammar tests, don't worry about if you started kind of low or if it wasn't like what you thought you would be in a level. It's a matter of practice, and you'll see that the more you have English in your life, the easier it will get. Things will come to you a little easier. And by the way, Reinaldo, I watched the video, the TED Talk you sent me about how to learn any language in 6 months, and it's very good.
Yeah, the guy studied Chinese.
Yes, yes. And I am proud to say that all of his principles and the steps that he was advising, I had never watched his talk, are things that we apply in the program. Yay!
Yeah, very good.
So it's not just me saying, it's a random professor in Hong Kong also saying it. So the biggest takeaways from that talk, to me, like what I emphasize more than anything is going where the context is relevant to you. So every time that something is relevant and meaningful, it will stick to you and make you want to keep going. If you make it too like random, like, oh yeah, you know, that's why
I have a question about this.
Yes.
When you take only subjects that you like, for example, it seems that you have a repetition of the same words. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It will not reduce the vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
the size of the vocabulary.
Well, it depends on if you're only interested in one topic alone. That's why we try to create as much of a variety as possible because, you know, most of people will have a variety of things that you're interested about. And even though, like, you know, if we start talking about sports, and sports are not something that I really like. Like, I don't really like sports, but I could talk about, you know, start talking about sports and then talk about volleyball. It's the one thing that I like to play. And even if it's that, you know, that's not a passion, you can start in a broad topic, talk a little bit about, you know, things in that topic and go into something you're really interested.
Okay.
So yeah, like, of course, it's up to you as well not to focus on the same thing over and over and over and over. We're going to show you how to expand your broad, because, you know, sometimes you're interested in things that you don't explore, but you would like to. Use this opportunity to explore, you know, string theory. If that's something you always wanted to read about it in English. So just, it's up to you as well to diversify those things, but make sure that the things are interesting, because if I start reading about soccer in English, it's gonna bore me like so much. So I'm not gonna be engaged and I'm gonna start drifting away. So that's what I mean when, like, keep yourself engaged and interested is choose things you like, not only one thing, but things you like, because if it's something uninteresting, then you're not going to keep on track. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so speaking about goals and vocabulary size. So you guys took that test to measure your vocabulary size. And for any of you that are interested, if you are my former students, I will be sending to you on our weekly email the vocabulary size website where you can measure your vocabulary. And I asked Luisa Reinaldo to set a goal of words that, you know, their vocabulary size for the end of the 3 months and the end of 6 months, and where they want to be, and then how many words do they have to learn a day to get to where they want to be, if that makes sense. So I saw that you guys put there where you want to be. Very nice. I like ambitious objectives.
How many I know?
10,000.
10,000, just like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you guys.
So it's something like 30,000 a day.
30 words a day will be a challenge, I'm going to tell you. It's not undoable, but it's a challenge. And
Yeah, the best.
This following week, you'll be able to test it out and see how it works, because you can adjust your objective according to how it goes this week.
Maybe 2,000.
2,000 more?
20,000.
Oh, 20,000. Then you'll be better than me.
Yeah.
I actually tested myself, and I'm in the 15,000, or I think it was 15,800. So good. Otherwise, I shouldn't be teaching this language. Well,
Could
good,
be
I'm not
better.
teaching it. So, well, actually, it's really hard for bilingual people to have a big vocabulary size. That's proven in research because we carry more than one language in our minds. So you're kind of sharing the vocabulary sizes. So you're, unless you are bilingual by birth, like, or, you know, from birth, your second language will never reach your first language, vocabulary size wise. So,
Yeah.
but 10,000 words is great. That's native like. If you reach 10,000 words, you speak like a native, pretty much. And I'm pretty sure you guys can accomplish that. Well, if that guy you sent me the video, Reinaldo, could learn Chinese and get to a native-like fluency in 6 months,
6 months.
you guys are already halfway there. That's easy.
6 months for Chinese. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll send you the TED Talk, please, because it's an interesting one. He says a lot about something that I believe, like, as much as he was talking about, learning grammar through input, comprehensible input method. So Reinaldo knows what I'm talking about. I'll send you the video, but it's basically instead of studying grammar structures, you're gonna go by context. You understand the context, and the more you listen to it, the more you have to communicate about it. Your brain will absorb the grammar.
Yeah.
By example. But you have to have a lot of example, like tens and thousands of examples to really absorb it. That's why our vocabulary list / sentence building exercise is very important. However, we're not going to do it in, like, it's not going to be just random vocabulary or random sentences. And that's what we're going to be trying to do this next week. Because first of all, I want you guys to focus on words that are more frequent in the language. Well, you both are around the 3,000 word mark. So I don't think we're going to worry about frequency in your case, because you already know the more frequent words. Maybe you're lacking a little bit here and there, but for the most part, your level is already beyond basic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to worry about word frequency for now. But what I want you to worry about is whatever your goal is for that day, you're going to write your words down. And then you have two options. The thing is, words are great and vocabulary size is important, like I'm telling you, but vocabulary without context is nothing. So if you try to learn a word by memorizing the translation or the definition, you're not going to be able to use that word. Very rarely you'll be able to actually remember the word. So what you're going to do is, what I want you to do is write a sentence with the word about yourself. So find a creative way to put that word into the context of your life.
It's going to be worse.
What's that?
It's going to be worse.
Well, it's you said it's going to be worse or worse?
Yeah.
Worse?
Worse, yeah. It's not worse.
You say more difficult?
Yeah.
It is slightly more difficult, but the more you do it, the easier we'll get. believe me. And
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, it's going to help you recall those words a lot easier. Because when you're doing random sentences or just writing this in, you can do both. You can, for example, you watched a video and you stop the video and there's a sentence there. My father went to the park every day for 3 years. And you want to get the word park, you can write the whole sentence. You found the word. That's good too. You know, you're getting context. You watched a video, you remember what the context is from. But for you to actually encode it, make it into your long-term memory, make something that, you know, you can actually use later. If you use the word park, that's the word you're trying to learn, for example, into your life. So, for example, something real, not fictitious, something real. You say, yesterday I took my dog to the park. Or every Tuesday I take my dog to the park. Something that's real for you, and you can use the word in the context, you will remember better later on. So context is key.
So it's the same context of the repetition process. On the first
Spaced
day,
repetition.
Spaced repetition, yeah.
So spaced repetition, we're going to go into on week 3. So
Okay.
this week, we're gonna just do vocabulary lists and sentences in context. And yeah, and then in week 3, I'm gonna teach you how to unite those two things into spaced repetition. And then it's going to be just the cherry on top. It will be the conclusion. And then using those two strategies, you're gonna be good to go. You'll be able to recall a lot more vocabulary than if you were doing, you know, just vocabulary lists. Have you been through that where you do just long vocabulary lists and then you read through it and you can never remember that word again or that list of words? Because just writing things down and looking at them again, if you did the spaced repetition thing, you know that it doesn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You guys following me so far?
Yeah. See. Yes.
Awesome. But this first month, like I've been telling you, is the familiarization stage. We're going to do one thing at a time. So this week, we're going to do listening practice. Listening is probably one of the key things. The more you listen, the better your brain, your ears will be to recognize words and speech patterns. And, you know, then later on, we're going to get listening, like combine listening to other practices so you can practice pronunciation, reading, grammar, everything else. And that's on month 2, on our second phase. So for a strong foundation, we're going to be practicing listening in 4 different forms this week. So every day will be a different strategy. It's not going to be hard. You don't have to worry about that. So I hope this week will be less to do, but it will be more studying English. So you're going to get more of practice, of English practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I have a question.
So, yes.
I don't know if it happens with Reinaldo, but my degree in listening is more elevated than in grammar, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Is it common or not?
Me too.
Reinaldo?
I am better in listening.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it common? Is it usual?
Yeah, if it's usual, it is, because the listening that they are measuring from you guys, it's comprehension, listening comprehension. And grammar is actually knowing how to use the rules in context. So that's why it's easier for you to just comprehend listening instead of knowing all the small things about grammar rules.
Okay.
And we will work on that, especially because you guys want to take the TOEIC. So we're going to do some grammar practice focus on the TOEIC. But I strongly believe on that input process. The more you listen, the more you interact, the better your grammar will become naturally, intuitively.
Okay.
Okay? Awesome. So, great. Now, one more thing, I want to talk about the vocabulary lists and the context. I'm going to challenge you guys to do something for the native conversation, the native speaker conversation. So I don't know when you guys scheduled. I have to look into, did you guys schedule with Carrie or Matthew?
Mine is Matthew for tomorrow.
Matthew for tomorrow. And how about you, Reinaldo?
I schedule Carrie Thursday.
Okay. So Reinaldo will have more time to do this. You, Luis, might want to do this tonight or tomorrow before your conversation. So what I want you to do is from the vocabulary list, list and examples you make, I want you to create a little story about yourself. It can be about a moment in the past. It can be about your current life. But I want you to make up a story that's creativity and it's fun, you know. It can be a crazy story. It doesn't need to be like perfectly like a book you're writing. It can be a little crazy, but I want you to use all words from your vocabulary list on that story.
Challenge accepted.
Like, is that with me?
Can I reschedule the class for Friday maybe, or Saturday, or something like this?
Well, you can, but you still got time, so it's up to you.
Okay, no, just joking.
Just joking, good. Because this weekend, you guys were supposed to already create your vocabulary lists and sentences. Supposed to. I know. It's a holiday, so I get it. But, some is better than nothing. So even if you don't get to your goal, keep trying to at least, get something. And like I've told you guys before on the audios and throughout the week, anything can serve as inspiration. It doesn't have to be, for example, the video I sent you or the material that I'm sending you. If you read a news article in the morning or the audio from me in the morning or anything at all, even a native speaker conversation, if you guys use vocabulary that you're learning right there, you can use it in your list. Everything is an opportunity. So take advantage of that. Because then you don't have to oh my God, I have to find 30 words in this video. Use everything. Even if you're let's say you're doing your Journey app, which is important. Hope you guys start doing that this week. And let's say you didn't know a word. You're saying something. And that's my challenge for you guys too. If you don't find something to talk about in the Journey app, it's kind of weird. What do I talk about? Create a story. I would love to see your stories at the end of the week. Create the story with some or all the words in your vocabulary list to your Journey app. It will be hilarious to look back at it. You guys, not me. I I'm not gonna laugh at all. No, but it would be great. And I want to see. I'll share the best stories.
Anna,
I'm
you,
kidding.
you are a terrible liar.
You
Terrible.
know, I'm gonna appreciate the effort so much. I'll be like, oh, I
yeah.
have a
Do you
I have
believe it or not?
a good heart.
I don't understand. Repeat, please.
Do you believe?
Kind of.
Kind of. Oh, you guys think I'm so mean. I'm so generous and just wanting to see your very elaborate stories.
Uh,
You don't need to do that every day, but remember, the more you use the vocabulary, the more you put it into context, the better you encode it. So it's all about psychology. But it's all about how you're doing the things you're doing. So, hey, now, if you remember from the TED talk, the guy was also saying that emotional connection to what you're learning is very important. And that's what I'm trying to create, this emotional connection to the vocabulary list.
yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm. So it's just not something like a list of words.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's see how this week goes. And before I let you guys go, do you have any questions for me as far as anything, that we went through last week? Anything at all?
No, it's absolutely okay for me.
Great.
And me too. It's okay.
Awesome. So now it's just doing the things. The biggest things this week will be the listening practice, vocabulary list with context, and the Journey app. So those are your things for every day.
The second one is?
The vocabulary lists
Okay.
and the context. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the Journey app. Come on. That makes a lot of difference, and you guys will see. But awesome. So if you guys don't have any other questions, that will be it. Coaching. We'll speak more about your particular goals and objectives on our individual coaching call this week. Okay?
Okay. See you.
Awesome. So any questions about what you're going to be speaking to your native speaker this week?
Well, I have a question about Stick app.
Oh, yeah, the Speaky. Yes. That's something new we're trying, but what's your question?
Well, how we use this app?
So you set a goal, correct? Like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
use it, Luis, the Stick app.
Yeah?
So you're going to set a goal for, let's say, Luis, 30 words or 20 words, Reinaldo. And then you have to send us proof of if you did it. So that's basically how it works. And like we said, if you want to put money into it, that's a way to keep you committed for sure. And so the Stick app will, for example, donate your money to something you hate or to a friend of yours, or, it can be anything like that. But it's, even though it involves money, but it's a way for you to keep it committed, because when it's a very interesting psychological effect that we are driven sometimes more by the fear of losing something than a reward. So your fear of losing your money will keep you like, nope, nope, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep on track. So that's the idea behind it. And it's called a betting strategy. And I've been using it to, you know, I read it in an article and I thought it was genius because there's a lot of, like, there's a guy that he does that for everything. Everything in his life that he wants to accomplish, he bets with somebody he knows, like somebody that is going to keep the bet. And then if he doesn't accomplish, he has to give that person money. And if he does, then he's okay.
There's a character of uh, I can remember the series. Forget about it. I will remember and send to you. For everything, he wants a challenge, and always says challenge is accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let me see.
You're talking about a TV show?
Yeah,
Are you talking about How I Met Your Mother?
yeah, that's
You're
it.
talking about Barney.
About Barney. Yes, that's it.
I love that show. Yes. Anything that was a challenge, he would say, challenge accepted. And
Yeah,
man, he would do
all the
it.
time, all the time.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched that show, Reinaldo, but it's great. American culture. You know, we learn a lot of slang, a lot of, you know, context stuff. But yeah, it was funny because a lot of the times, like, nobody was challenging him. And he was like, challenge accepted. Great. Yes. Very, very good example, Luis. That's how I hope you guys are doing it. Like accepting the challenge and making it as like you have to prove your worth to do the things that you guys are setting yourselves to do. Because that's not my challenge. That's your challenge with yourself. So
Yeah.
awesome. Any other questions?
Now let's go to the week.
Yes. Let's get it started. Tomorrow, we'll be sending you audios, emails in the morning, like we did last week. But this week is just the fun stuff.
I have one question. Is Pedro from Brazil?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Belo Horizonte?
Yes.
Oh,
Why? Why? Did you think he was from somewhere else?
no, just curiosity.
Curiosity. Yes.
Yeah.
No, he's from BH. We were childhood friends. Well, we are,
Different.
I guess.
Okay.
And he moved to Italy and we started working together. And he's the best. I love Pedro. Pedro, if you ever watch this. Awesome. Okay, so if you guys have no more questions, let's get this week started. And if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to Pedro, or waiting for our coaching call, however you guys want to do it. But I want to see you succeed. Don't worry if this week, it's a lot. It was like, oh my God, this word list is too big, it's too much. We can always adjust things so it's doable for your time. You can learn as much as you want. You can spend the whole day studying English, but it doesn't mean that that's going to fit your routine. So we have to find that balance.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. So glad to have you guys here. We'll have this every Sunday night. We're going to have this little talk. And
Every
we're
Sunday
gonna talk.
night?
Yes, every Sunday night. If you
The
cannot,
same schedule.
it depends. I will, if you cannot make it 1 week at 7, at 8, you can let me know and I can adjust the time. We can adjust so we can all meet. But in the future, when we have more people, I'm going to set a time and whoever can attend, and whoever can't will see the video on YouTube because it's going to be recorded. This video will be recorded so you can watch it later. Okay. Also,
Okay.
that if you have questions throughout the week, you can, try to ask us, but you can also save it for group coaching. You'll have many opportunities to get your questions answered. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do it.
Awesome. Let's do it. I see the excitement in your faces. So
Yeah.
great. So no more questions.
No more
I will let you
questions.
guys go then.
No, it's
See
okay for
you
me.
tomorrow.
Yes. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Talk to you this week, Reinaldo. You guys have a good night. Okay.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye bye.